Hello, how's it going? So I'm back out on tour in just over a month. And going back out without learning anything from the last tour would probably be a silly thing. So to cut a long story short, my synthesizer kept on breaking.
Want the soldering iron?
Can we turn the music off for 3 minutes?
There was at least 5 minutes of interactive troubleshooting, to the point that people were coming up to me afterwards being like, is that part of the set? It looks like, you were expecting that to happen. And I was expecting that to happen. It was just a case of where was it going to happen? And this isn't a new thing either. I've been playing with DIY modular synthesizers kind of live on the stage for about 3 years now. And before that, I've been playing guitar. And it's kind of the same feeling. It's like, am I going to break a string? Is my synthesizer going to blow up? Don't get me wrong, a lot of the time it does go without a hitch, but there's a few times where it's like, right, I can't play that song. So yeah, after the last show, I decided I'm going to do something about it. So yeah, Cosmo 2.0 behind me, I'm going to have to start rebuilding it. So because these panels are all a weird size, I call it metric 5U, 20 centimeters, a lot of the strip board and PCBs behind there are kind of hanging on for dear life. And another thing is, some of these modules I actually built about 5 years ago, and I was really hopeless at soldering at that point. So, it's pretty just overall kind of bad buildmanship. And this isn't very good because when these things get chucked into the back of the van or like put on the stage, you get wobble, boom, boom, a lot of weight, and some things may break, which it has happened before. So it got me thinking, what can I do to stop this problem? Other synthesizers don't have this problem. So I came to the conclusion that I needed to make these like normal manufactured synthesizers using printed circuit boards that are coupled with printed panels. Easy. So yeah, I'm in the process of designing a lot of these modules on PCB boards. And today's video is about the first one that I designed. It seemed like an obvious one to design first because it was actually the first module I ever built. This isn't exactly that one because that one kind of died a long while ago. It's the Rene Schmitz MS-20 style filter. And yeah, I love this filter and I've used it in my synth all the time. And it made sense to build this as a PCB first because it's quite simple and it'll be pretty hard to get it wrong. As you can see, this filter is quite a large filter. This is because I find the filter to be quite important in the performance. So, you need a lot of space around a big old knob to be able to perform it, turn up the resonance. So it's kind of like a performance filter. I've built this filter a fair few times. I saw it first on the Electro Musicians Forum as a stripboard layout by Clactronics, but that was the Rene Schmitz MS-20 style filter. So I figured I'd give Rene Schmitz a little call.
Hey.
Hey,
Hello.
yeah.
I have here my blue box modular, which is home to most of the circuits that I've published on my website.
So you've been building synthesizers for quite some time then.
Some of the circuits are, I don't know, 96-ish. So that I think it was the time when I really started. Before that, I had built little guitar pedals. The thing is that this was all prehistory. You had no idea where to get data sheets, where to order parts. The internet was very very young for us at least. So
Yeah.
it was a different world actually compared to now.
So how did you get data sheets?
Maybe you had a chance that in one of the electronics magazines there was a print, or you could find something in a book that you would find in the library, but it was more or less by chance that you found some information.
So this was at university as well. So what were you studying at university? Was it anything to do with this?
I've started studying physics, and later I went into what we call informatics or computer science. The physics thing is actually an interesting. We had an interesting lab, and one of the things that we did was a sweepable oscillator, and this was one of the key experiments where I thought, oh wow, that's how you can do that. And then I started really poking around in the internet, found a mailing list and a homepage of a fellow that ran that mailing list at the time. Yeah, that is how that came to be. And then after a while, I started doing my own circuits and posting them on my homepage.
How long ago? When did you start posting onto your homepage?
I think the oldest posts are from 96.
Wow.
Okay, so without further ado,
Yeah,
So,
cool.
that was the MS-20 filter, basically a little bit sweeping. I'm running 3 oscillators.
So yeah, I went away after that and designed a PCB board as well as a panel. And today we're going to put this together so I can put it in the synthesizer and move on to the next module. Okay, diddly dokey. Let's have a look at the bill of materials first. This is a list of what you need. It's available on my website. And then you start by putting on the resistors. These are little resisty things, and it doesn't matter which way around. You're just going to plop them in and then just pop the solder and snip them off. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Diodes, they've got a stripe on the side. Match the stripe to the stripe and you'll be well away. And then you get on the capacitors. These don't matter which way round either. And then you pop in the transistors. They're those lovely, beautiful, three-legged little friends. Oh, absolutely lovely. Look at that. And then you just keep on soldering. Get to the IC sockets. So basically you just want to solder these down and you keep on soldering components until you get taller and taller. You end up with the tallest ones, which are the electrolytic capacitors. Pop them down and then you pop in the connectors. You can actually get away with not using these and just soldering the jack sockets directly to the PCB, but I'm being neat today. I'm a new man, okay? And then what you gotta do is you gotta solder on the Molex kind of Eurorack connector, but you could get away with using just a wire for that as well. But you know, and then admire workmanship because we've got a lot of work to do on this side of the PCB board. You can see those outlines from the pots. Well, it's time to put those in. And also while you're there, check if you've got any dry joints. Just give them all a double check, see if everything's right, and then turn it around. Now we're gonna place in all of the potentiometers. But whoa, 1 second. Do not solder them in quite yet, because what you need to do is to make sure they're all lined up with the panel, and then put in the LEDs and kind of line it all up to the panel. It fits nice and snug. Pop the bolts on, and this is before the soldering, and then you solder, because then they're all nice and flush with the panel. It stops them from breaking. Trust me, it's a good idea. I learned it from the best. And then you just do those soldering. Make sure you get good connections on all of your soldering joints to avoid mistakes later. And then pop in the jack sockets and screw on those potentiometers knobs, those lovely little things. There's links to those on my website. And now what you've got to do, if you didn't solder the wires directly to the PCB, this is what I do. I use these Molex connectors and a Molex crimp. If you want these, there's links on my website as well. So, very interesting. But yeah, as you can see, I'm being sort of thorough with this video. I've never really been this thorough before, but this thing needs to work for every single show that I do from now on. And then it's a case of putting these wires onto the jack sockets. The blue ones in this video are going to the ground of the jack sockets, and the yellow ones are going to the signal, which is the tip of the jack. And we just keep on soldering and making sure that it's all going to work lovely, and then admire your workmanship, because that's basically it. Fingers crossed it works. Oh, I hope it works anyway. Oh, very nice. Look at that loveliness. Lovely. So this is the one that I mainly used on tour. As you can see, it's absolutely covered in beer. Like, it's literally covered in beer and splodges and stuff. This has been used for like every gig that I've ever done, really, with like modular synths and stuff. I'm probably still going to use this in my synth, but maybe an auxiliary voice that I don't use as much. So now I'm going to swap this performance filter with this performance filter. They're both exactly the same, pretty much, in function. Just hopefully this one's a bit more reliable. So there it is. I've got the output wired to, well, the output, and I've got an oscillator on the end of this. I'm just going to plug it into audio input 1 and then turn up the filter. As you can hear, it's pretty resonancy. There's also a preset potentiometer on the back, so if you want to adjust how much resonance is on this knob, you can adjust it from the back. And then high pass. And then I've got an envelope generator on this. I'm going to plug that into CV input 1. So now I'm going to turn on some more oscillators. Another thing that I do live, and the reason why I have 3 control voltage inputs, is I also send the audio out of the oscillators into the control voltage input, which means that I get a proper squelchy sound. If you listen to this in a sec. So if you... That sounds really good when you turn on the distortion as well. It sounds pretty Just put some noise into audio input 2. You've still got another input, so there's plenty of stuff to be able to plug in. But now I'm gonna... But yeah, there we go. That's a really, really simple filter, but it's really big and it's got loads of inputs. I just think it's just a useful thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first kind of PCB module that I've sort of finished and I've done a video about. There's a few more to come, well, a fair few more to come that will be coming over the next few months, and I'll be doing videos on most of them, I'm pretty sure. I'm building these projects specifically for my live rig, so you know, they are kind of catered towards kind of what I kind of need. And I'm sort of hoping that these may be of use to some other people. I know a few people are actually building in this kind of format, so you know, maybe you want a oversized nice sounding filter. So I'm actually doing a small run of these PCBs. They're available on my shop. There's a link in the description. As for Rene Schmitz, I've heard he may be at one point doing a Eurorack version of this, but there's also another crazy filter that he's worked on at the minute. You can check it out on his YouTube channel and his website. There's links in the description and on the pinned comment about that stuff. So yeah, I've already been working on a few other modules that we'll be talking about soon, including a tuner. Yeah, something that you can keep in tune with, because that's something that I really need live. Nice big, and it's like a dual tuner. There's one there as well, and there's more to come. So yeah, there's more information on my website and Rene's website. You can get tickets for the tour and all that stuff, and hopefully I'll have this all fixed and ready for it. Anyway, I've been Look Mum No Computer. Don't forget to subscribe and don't be scared to try it.